What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you a Pillars of Eternity lore video about Galawain, one of the gods of Eora. Just a couple things right off the bat. A couple spoilers for some side quests and stuff, mostly, and a little bit of the main quest for the first game, but nothing outrageous or anything. Also, Galawain is one of those gods that doesn't really get a lot of screen time or anything, outside of like just this graphic of him. So some of the footage might just be like generic conversation and text event stuff, so just letting you guys know. Galawain, or Discount Hircine if you will, is the father of monsters, the god of such things as the hunt in all of its forms, which we'll get into that here in a minute, nature, pursuit, discovery, and finding your own way through things, or solving your own problems, being self-sufficient, basically. A couple of interesting notes there with what Galawain is the god of. One, he is actually worshipped by a lot of scholars in Eora because, again, he's the god of things like discovery, which scholars are all about doing. So even though he's simultaneously the god of the hunt, that also means like the pursuit of the unknown as well, which I thought was interesting. I also said the hunt in all of its forms. Now this is especially interesting because in the guidebook for, I believe it was the original game, there's just like a throwaway sentence about how Galawain used to serve as the divine enforcer for Wodica when Wodica ruled the gods. This video isn't about her. We'll get around to that when we get to Wodica. Now again, it's a fairly minor thing that you don't even see in the game, but nonetheless it is an official source for information, so it should be included. That's important because you have to understand that Galawain is also worshipped by assassins and things because that is its own form of the hunt, and Galawain is the god of all of them. Which, yes, I realize that makes my joke about Hircine not entirely make sense, but that's not the point, don't bother. Galawain obviously enjoys things like survival of the fittest. You often see him in the games tinkering on various incarnations of monsters, which is why he's called the father of monsters. He fashions new races of predatory creatures like all the time. It seems to be something he just enjoys doing. And we see that play out in Deadfire's Seeker Slayer Survivor DLC, where Galawain is actually making monsters and things that then are fought in the arena at, I believe it's called Kazuari. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But with that stuff out of the way, let's talk about his appearances in the games. So in the first game, like most of the gods, he really isn't there that much. However, if you talk to him and his shrine at the Council of Stars quest, Galawain will be one of the gods you actually speak to, because you only speak to 4 of them, but he will send you on a quest to go sort out a situation between 2 predators at one of his shrines. The side quest itself isn't amazing, you just pick one and basically just pick a side and you're done. But what he and the gods he's representing when he's talking to you in the first game ask you to use the souls of the Hollowborn children, which is part of that plot for that game, to strengthen the people of the Deerwood rather than return them to the cycle or anything. Basically, his thinking is that the damage is done, you might as well use that energy in a constructive way rather than trying to do anything else with it. And then in the second game, he's there a bit more. There's a side quest where he's featured pretty prominently called Overgrowth, because basically you wander into one of his labs where he's working on giant predatory creatures. He also talks to you when you fight one of the dragons in the game as well. Again, he's featured very prominently as part of the Seeker Slayer Survivor DLC, and like all the gods, he participates in the conversations with the Watcher throughout the game. But outside of his side quests and stuff, he doesn't have a lot of like direct involvement in the story by any means. So to wrap this up, Galawain is often seen as the Changeling, which is essentially the figure that you saw for the thumbnail, more than likely. He looks like a nature godlike with 2 wolves at his side. He's also known to take the appearance of a wolf, or perhaps a dog even, but more often than not the Changeling, which is that nature godlike looking being. So there you go, guys. There is what there is to know about Galawain. He's an interesting one, to be sure, has a lot going on. However, again, he's not featured very prominently anywhere, but you can tell, in my opinion, that the developers liked him because you do see him a lot in like side quests and DLC and stuff. Just some cool stuff about him. There you go. If you liked the video, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz to help that algorithm. But more than anything, just thank you so much for watching. It really does help. I really do appreciate all the comments and all the positive energy. Thank you. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.